Continuing with pirkei avos. Nitai Harabeli Oimer. Nitai Harabeli says, Harchek mishachen ra. Distance yourself from a bad neighbor. V'al tischaber l'rasha, and do not associate with a wicked person. V'al tisyayish min haperonis, and do not despair of retribution. Okay, now, so the first two parts of the Mishnah here are speaking about staying away from bad people. Harchek mishachen ra, distance yourself from a bad neighbor. V'al tischaber l'rasha, and do not join, do not associate yourself, do not connect yourself to the rasha. Now, when you're talking about a neighbor, so it's even without any attachment, there's an automatic influence by the fact that he's your neighbor. So harchek, you need to distance yourself. The Rebbeinu Yonah says that just like a person will, they'll make sure to get an appraisal, and they'll make sure to, look into the house, and they'll look into the neighborhood and all different kinds of things. Well, look into your neighbors, and see who lives there. A good neighbor is a very important thing, and a bad neighbor is a very detrimental thing. And the altis chaber the rasha, don't be friends, don't connect yourself with the rasha. Now let's try to appreciate why it's so important to stay away from these people. Distance yourself from the bad neighbor. Don't associate yourself with the rasha. So this can be understood on several levels. The most simple level is you'll be influenced. You'll be influenced tremendously. We don't realize how much we are influenced by things. Studies show how, we're influenced by the color of the walls, a sunny day, a gloomy day, littlest things. Look what's going on out there right now. The environment takes a toll on people. And, we're very much influenced by our surroundings and, the way we think and the way we act. Now, you could easily become influenced. You might not be a rioter on your own, but when you hang around with rioters, then you're going to be lighting fires on people's stores also, because that's your crowd, that's your neighborhood. So you better be careful who you hang around with. We're tremendously influenced by our surroundings, and a neighbor is there all the time, lives nearby. So distance yourself. And a rasha, so, make sure to stay away. Now, it might be tempting. That rasha might be very wealthy. You might have a great time with him. He's a great hangout buddy. That doesn't mean he's not a rasha. A rasha could be a really nice guy, but he doesn't care about God, and he might not care about other people. Maybe he's cool with the people in his club, in his group, in his gang, but he may be very nasty to other people around him, innocent store owners and innocent police officers. We could make a list. So it gets but he might be a great and fun person to hang around. And he might even do you favors, but this is a bad influence. So this is number one. Number two, don't ever make the mistake of thinking that when someone is a rasha, what does it make a person a rasha? So he either is, completely he's disregarding God, or he's disregarding people. Okay, there are two options. Person's a rasha. He's either disregarding God or he's disregarding people. So now this guy is a great hangout buddy, and you're buddies with him. There's great concern. You might make a person can easily make a mistake, but he's nice to me. Ooh, it's going to come back to bite you. Ooh, be careful. Someone who isn't in control of himself and doesn't have his head screwed on straight. He doesn't understand that there's a God in this world. He doesn't understand that God is good to him. He doesn't understand that he needs to be nice to other people. Whichever area he's lax in, it's going to come back to bite you somehow. Don't think that he's nice to you now, he's going to stay that way. Somebody who's not in control of himself, it's not going to stay that way. Someone who doesn't fear God, so yeah, he's nice with you now. But when push comes to shove, or, it's between him and you, who do you think he's going to decide on? Him or you, If there's no fear of God, so it's not about doing the right thing. It's about, what maximizes my pleasure. Right now, my pleasure is being benefited by being friends with you. But, it could change in a heartbeat where being friends with you is not good for him. It doesn't suit his benefit. So there you go. We'll toss you off the bridge in a second. Someone who isn't fearing God, that's what's going to happen. That's what happened. Abraham went to with Sarah, and he hides Sarah in a box when he comes to the place of Avimelech. And Avimelech questions him, why did you do this? I never said anything. I never did anything. You had no right to suspect me. And you know what Abraham says? Because there's no fear of God in this place. When there's no fear of God in this place, so anything can happen. You may be nice and you may be cordial and you may be sophisticatedly cultured and friendly. But when push comes to shove and something is for your benefit, if there's no fear of God, you'll stab me in the back in a second. That's how fast things can happen. When there's no fear of God, watch out. It's going to come back to bite you. It's just a matter of time. And if he's not nice to other people, so yeah, right now you're his buddy and it suits him. But again, it will come back to bite. So don't distance yourself from a Rasha, a bad neighbor. Don't associate yourself with the Rasha, because it's going to come back to bite you for your own protection, for your own security, for your own safety, whether physically, emotionally. It's somebody who is a Rasha, is a bad neighbor. Stay away. It's not going to be good for you. So we have two ideas. Number one, he'll influence you. Number two, it's going to come back to bite you. Number three, the Rabbeinu Yonah says that if you connect yourself to such people, you will be held accountable for all of his actions, because you're connected to him, and you're going to, each one of us, if I'm connected to him, so it's like I did that Aveira. It's like certainly if I could have stopped him, I could have influenced him, for sure. So, but if you find yourself connected to such people, this is your group. So you'll get the credit for his Aveiros. But of course, it works in a positive way too when you connect yourself to a Rasha, to a tzaddik. So conversely, you will stand to benefit physically and emotionally. You will learn from him. He will influence you in a positive way. And when he does mitzvahs, so you will get credit for his too, because you're part of the same group. When you're part of the same group, so there's some kind of connection to each other's actions. We're all in the same boat, for sure. Even more so when we are connecting ourselves to other people. And al tisyayish min haperonos. Don't give up hope from retribution. Don't think that, when I see the tide changing, I'll part ways from him. No. Things happen in an instant. And, that backstab is going to happen in an instant. You may suffer. And when things are maybe good for him and it benefits you to be friends with the wealthy, fun guy now, but he's a Rasha, well, the tides can change in a moment and you won't have time to react. And you're going to get sucked in with him. So there's no time for that. Just to conclude, the Ben Ish Chai has a very a novel explanation of the Mishnah. V'al tischa harchek mishachein ra. So simply it means distance yourself from the evil neighbor. The Ben Ish Chai reads it differently. He suggests Harchek mishachein, distance from your neighbor, ra, all evil. In other words, be a good influence on your neighbor. And if you see your neighbor getting into some bad stuff, distance him from that evil. Try and help him out. Try to encourage him, to the right path. Set a good example for him, and be a good influence on him. This will help you in many ways. It will help him in many ways. We should always be looking to benefit others and try to turn them around. And even if we don't seem to be able to do anything, so the wife of Reb Meir Bruria taught us, there were some people giving Reb Meir a real hard time. You think, no, if somebody's a real tzaddik, they'll see his righteousness and they won't give him a hard time. He could be the biggest of Rebbeim, he could be the Gadol Hadar, and they'll cut him off at the leg. There are bad people in this world, and they just don't care. And they gave Reb Meir a real hard time, and he couldn't take it anymore. It was that bad. He was a very, very tolerant person, certainly, but he couldn't take it anymore. He was going to daven for them to die, and his wife said, "No, don't daven that they should die. Daven that their avera should stop." As we say in the end of Barchi Nafshi on Rosh Chodesh, Yitamu chatoim in haaretz, that the sins should perish. It doesn't say Yitamu hachotim, that the sinners should perish. So don't daven that the sinners should perish, daven that their sins should perish. And when we daven for someone, that can help them. That's a whole different discussion how that works. How can your davening help them change their ways? But it helps. It does help. So when you see somebody who's a rush to daven for them, that they should change their ways. And even if they're giving you a hard time, it's easier said than done. But daven for them. We should always be trying to reach out and influence others and help others in a positive way. Okay.